Because even at the North Pole, leadership still matters. From the elves to the reindeer, it's teamwork that makes magic happen. This is the Passionate Leader Podcast, Christmas edition. Be sure to grab your soft blanket, your cup of hot chocolate, and your bucket of popcorn as we sit down with the big man himself, Santa Claus. Ask yourself, what if the magic of Christmas didn't stop at midnight? What if every smile, every hug, every act of kindness could keep the sleigh flying all year long? Because believing isn't just something we feel, it's something we do. When we share, when we help, when we make someone feel loved, that's Christmas. So tonight, as Santa makes his rounds, let's remember that each of us carry a little bit of that magic forward. The lights will fade, the songs will end, but the spirit we share, that's the part that lasts. Now let's join Santa one more time and let the magic begin. You actually made a really good point. So, and I think a lot of times kids can get nervous because we do make mistakes because we're not perfect. Is there a quick example or an example or two that you could give of, when you did make a mistake as Santa Claus and how you overcame it and stuff like that?
Oh, well, goodness, there was a young elf by the name of Melvin, and well, Melvin was a little bit clumsy, I guess you would say. And it seemed like he couldn't do things. He tried very hard, but it seems like he would always kind of mess things up. When he was in the workshops or things like that, he wouldn't make the toys to build them properly or things like that. And even when he was trying to help Mrs. Claus, the cookies, whoa, goodness. I remember that one time I got a stomach ache and they were full with, instead of sugar, it was all salty. But you know something?
Oopsies.
I made a mistake by thinking that he wasn't able to do certain things. I didn't realize it was because he needed glasses just like me.
Oh, no.
He couldn't see certain things. And then once we got some glasses for him, he was able to do everything, and he's become one of the best elves at the North Pole. So I made
That's
a mistake
amazing.
by thinking that he couldn't do things when I didn't realize that it was because he needed glasses. He couldn't see very well.
Oh, no way. Okay.
So you can never judge something or someone by the way they look or what they do, and maybe they just need help. And of course I learned a valuable lesson that particular year. I'll tell you that. And of course Mrs. Claus was grateful. We apologized to Melvin, of course, and we didn't know until we found out. So that I
Mm.
learned a valuable lesson.
I and that's a very valuable lesson in humility as well.
Absolutely.
I that is something that I think we can all learn. We can never quite judge a situation until you have all of the information. And even Santa Claus can make a mistake, ladies and gentlemen,
That
boys and girls, if you're listening.
that's
For
right.
sure.
And I
Oh,
know
I
a good friend of mine, actually wrote a little book, about a day in the life of Santa Claus.
okay.
And it explains a little bit about some of the mishaps that have gone on up at the North Pole. So,
I love it.
absolutely.
That's a good thing. So the big night is really, really close.
Oh,
And
goodness.
a lot of family traditions include reading a book before the children get tucked in on Christmas Eve. What was one of your, or still is one of your favorite books that you like to read?
Oh, well, of course, it's the night before Christmas, right? 'Twas the night before Christmas.
Mm,
And
that was an easy one, I suppose.
well, it was written by the very first person to ever catch me, leaving gifts. And just like the story says, right? And that was written by Clement Clark Moore. Oh, goodness, 80-ish or so years ago, maybe give or take a few
Mm,
years. And do you know why he caught me? Well, Clement was a cold sleeper, they call it. He liked to sleep with the windows cracked open. You know, back in those times, most people heated their houses with either a wood stove or coal burning stove. Uh,
mhm.
and I think maybe that's where we came up with coal in the stockings, not just because someone was
Yes.
being naughty, but to help out a little bit, right?
Mm.
You can still be kind to someone that might be a little naughty now and then.
This is very true. This is very true. So I actually this is kind of a unique one, more for me. So you obviously go into a lot of different homes,
Oh,
and so I
millions, and well, I would have to say the number is probably around 1 billion
wow,
all over the
holy
world.
moly, wow, that's so generally our show is a lot about fire service stuff, and I do a lot of fire prevention stuff. So
I see.
what's kind of something that you want, that might be a good idea to remind the boys and girls about, stocking placement and stuff like that maybe?
Well, let's see. Well, you always want to have the stockings off to the side, of course. And one of the things is hopefully not everybody has a fire going on Christmas Eve, of course. You know, I do have certain ways I can get around that, but it's so much easier and it keeps me on track with time, of course, if there's no fire. But oh, and don't forget. Uh, to have make sure that those fireplaces and chimneys and stovepipes and things of that nature get cleaned, of course.
Mm.
Be usually people start doing that, I would probably say in, mid-September or so, before the cold weather comes around your part of the world. Oh, and as far another thing, the children of emergency responders, first responders, your police, your fire, your dispatchers, your nurses and doctors, and all those they do sacrifice, of course, from being with their families on Christmas Eve or all different types of holidays. So it's very special to when they do come home, that you can celebrate the time after they're done, keeping their community safe and everybody doing what's necessary. So I'd like to give a big shout out to all the emergency responders that are out there all over the world for what they do. And children, they're very special people that you have your aunts and uncles and mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and so forth that are first responders. So you just remember that they might not be at home that day, but they're doing such a wonderful job for the community.
I could not have said it any better, boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen. And I think one thing that and one thing that comes up with that's actually a pretty good point is sometimes boys and girls can be a little nervous that if mom and dad aren't home, that you may not show up. And um, how would you go about helping us sort of kind of subside those fears in the kids that if mom and dad are working the night of Christmas or even Christmas Day, that if they have to delay, that they might miss out on Santa's deliveries.
Well, I always, I do get special requests now and then from parents. Children aren't the only ones who send me letters here at the North Pole. I'll get letters from parents that will be telling me that they may be going somewhere else or spending the night at someone else's home, or maybe they're even going and spending some time in another country. So, I do get those requests, so I make sure that I never miss anybody, and that goes back to all the logistics about my Christmas Eve visit, all those things. We have different departments for all that stuff, and people will keep, the communication back and forth, and it's a daunting task at times, but we seem to pull it off every year. We've never missed a child yet, so
I love it. Perfect record. Um, so it's almost the big night. How are things feeling at the North Pole right now, and where do we sit as far as getting everything ready to go for tonight's flight?
oh goodness, there's so much excitement. Of course, just the other day we had our celebration. Most people have their celebrations on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. We have our celebration here at the North Pole just a couple of days before I leave for my big trip. That's when we all gather together, or most of us are all together in the large hall, and we sit down and we have a wonderful dinner. And of course, everybody exchanges their gifts with one another to show our love and appreciation for our families, our friends, and all our loved ones. And of course, as even a special thank you to maybe you have loved ones that have crossed over or passed on. They never truly die. They're always alive within our hearts. And their memories, those memories that you have of them all year round, they're always alive within you. So you keep their memories alive and you keep your loved ones alive just by continuing those traditions and keeping that special feeling and spreading that love and joy out there in the world.
Mm, I amazing, amazing. So to your family dinner, what is the go-to favorite uh gathering dinner for the crew and everybody at the North Pole?
Oh, well, it's the same that you may have at your home, turkey and ham.
Okay.
And of course, yams and mashed potatoes and vegetables, oh goodness, desserts and cookies and pies and all kinds of things.
Mm. Is there anything that Mrs. Claus maybe not is not the best cook of?
Oh,
And we'll keep this one a secret. We won't tell her, I promise.
well, sometimes Mrs. Claus, she doesn't do a very good job with the lasagna, but
Oh. I
it tends
boys and girls,
it
do not
tends
say anything,
it
guys.
tends to burn the bottom quite often.
Oh, it's like she needs to be more patient.
Don't tell her I
We won't
told
say
you.
anything. We won't say anything.
Oh,
That's
wait a
our
second, she
secret.
might see this. But I love everything else she cooks.
Oh, my word. So, it's our big night. Tonight we take flight. The North Pole is ready to go. Do you tend to have more excitement or more nerves when the time comes to take flight?
Well, there's maybe a little nerves ahead of time. I'm always checking on the reindeer. As a matter of fact, pretty soon I'll be getting up to go and check on the reindeer and see how they're doing. And of course, Juniper and Jasper, the elves, that they take care of the reindeer stables and they keep an eye on the reindeer and they're always making sure the bells are all polished and things like that. And the reins are in good shape and we're going to have a great trip. So, I'll leave the North Pole and I usually will start down over in, let's see, New Zealand and then come down across over the Arctic Ocean over here into Asia and then work my way. I'm always going over towards the west. I'll go in an
Mm,
up and down pattern and then it's always towards the west to keep the sun at my back. So basically, I'm traveling into the future. You see, up at the
mm.
North Pole, if I go into a certain direction, I'm traveling into the future. But then if I reverse direction and I go back, I'm traveling into the past. I can do that, oh, maybe a few hours or so here and there. So that helps me. And the international dateline is a big help as well. So as long as I keep that sun to my back and I'm traveling into the night, into the future, I'll always get back to the North Pole on time.
Mm, logistics. Yeah, everything has to it lines up and you have an amazing team behind you.
I couldn't do it without them for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. What's one special thing you do to get in the Christmas spirit right before you head out for the flight?
Oh, well, this, of course, I make sure that my suit looks good and everything's great. And I have all my, you know, my tools, my different I keep some special magic with me sometimes as well.
Mm,
Some fairy dust as they call it, and some is for the reindeer to help the reindeer fly. Some is to use for when I need some. There are some places in the world that they don't have any snow, so what I end up
okay.
doing is I sprinkle some of my snow out into the atmosphere. It's special snow from the North Pole. I don't. Oh, and it's probably loaded up in this sleigh already. But I will spray that around into the atmosphere. It creates the snow, so I can land the sleigh with the reindeer, leave the gifts, and as soon as I take off up into the air, that snow melts very quickly. So those are some of the special things that I need to do. But I always give out a good hearty just before I leave so that everyone knows I'm ready to go.
It's magical. That is the telltale sign that it's time to get to work. I I love this. Um, so here's a few more that I have for you, and then we'll get you onto your flight because I know it's going to be a long night, and we certainly want to get a little rest before you have to fly. What's your favorite part about visiting homes and seeing how families celebrate?
Well, as I said earlier, I love the decorations. I love the different types of decorations that people will, especially the homemade. It's unbelievable the creativity that people have out there is amazing, and the beauty that is unsurpassed. The Christmas time, all the Christmas trees, how the Christmas trees are decorated. The Never mind the gifts that they give to one another from each other and how they wrap those, uh, different from the stuff that the gifts that I leave. It's just absolutely amazing, and I think that's probably one of my favorite things about visiting all the different homes around the world.
Mm. I there the it's everything about Christmas, the decorations, the spirit, the sights and the smells and the sounds just make it such a magical time of the year for sure.
Oh, absolutely, the cocoa and the baking of the cookies and oh, good I'm sta I'm starting to get, a little hungry.
Well, good thing it's almost time to take off, so you have a lot of houses that'll have cookies for you.
Oh, that's wonderful. I should have
I
there are 1.4 1.5 billion children on the planet Earth. Not all not all people celebrate Christmas, but there are quite a bit
Sure.
that do. Of course, like just over a billion, like I said earlier. And that's lots of cookies. Lots and lots of cookies. And you wouldn't even realize the size of my cookie locker back at the North Pole right here. Oh my goodness, I have to send them from wherever I am all the way to the North Pole.
Holy and I how long does it normally take you to finally get through the cookies that you collect throughout the your trip?
Well, it lasts us for the entire year from the time
Mm,
I get back right up until the time I leave. There's still a few cookies left over. So
mhm.
Those keep us going all year long. You figure 1 or 2 snacks a day, along with your meals and vegetables, children. Now, don't forget that. You wanna eat a good healthy meal and a vegetable and have a snack, right? So, remember to eat a good balanced diet. Mrs. Claus is trying to, get me to maybe lose a few pounds, and I know the reindeer would probably like it too.
They have a lot of presents to pull too, so there's certainly some weight in your, bag for sure. I love it. So actually, so one of the thinking about the cookies, and you have them all year, what's some of the fun things that Santa does, not during Christmas, like, during the summer and stuff like that?
Well, oh goodness, I'm glad I get to go all over the world to different locations. I do special events um, to some of the communities that may need a little extra help with raising some funds to help those needy people. So you might see me. Oh, I do. I love to go up to Lake Winnipesaukee. Oh goodness, I have a blast. It's such a beautiful area, and I do their Christmas in July event, of course, right up there. I get to drive the MS Mount Washington, believe it or not.
Oh, no
Yeah,
way.
of course, and I help them, and there's all kinds of families that come on board and have a nice cruise and a meal, and it's just wonderful. It's for the children's auction. So,
Okay.
Greater Lakes Region Children's Auction, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. They've been doing it for 42 years, and I believe, if I remember correctly, they've been able to give nonprofits and different in the community, over the 42 years, goodness, it's a little over $8.2 million. Could you believe that?
Wow, that's
And
amazing.
there are other places that do the same thing throughout the different parts of the world. So I love to go to those types of events, because it's a great cause and it's near and dear to my heart.
Mm. Does this happens every year, Santa?
Yes, it does. Every single year I do this.
That's absolutely
And
magical.
Mrs. Claus likes to go to the beach, and sometimes, depending on where we are, the Caribbean is one of her favorites.
Mhm.
She likes to soak up the sun, so to speak. Up at the North Pole, we have 6 months of darkness, but it's
Mhm.
beautiful because we have the northern lights all the time.
The Northern Lights are something that I know I've only seen when I was a little kid, and I get very excited in my part of New Hampshire where they say in the news we might be able to see them. So you usually see me out in the woods, not the woods, but in a dark area where hopefully I can see the Northern Lights because it reminds me of you, and two, it's such a beautiful and magical thing.
Well, thank you so much. We are so fortunate. We just have to look out the window or step outside and look up.
Yeah. Very, very, very jealous. Very, very jealous.
And I'll tell you, there is some special magic along with the northern lights as well. Very special. Of course, it helps keep our village secret and our location.
Mm.
So that way, you know, it's such a task to keep everything safe and um, I wouldn't want any harm coming to the elves or the reindeer or anything like that. We've been doing this for, oh goodness gracious, 1750 years, give or take a few years, roughly. So we can't have anything interrupting that. Matter of fact, this should be in the Guinness Book of World Records. Now
I
that
would
I
think
think of
so.
it.
I amazing. So we talk about the lights. This is more of like the lights. You get to see the northern lights in the sky, and so we talked about it a little bit, but what is it like when you look down from your sleigh and think because tonight's our flight, and you see all the lights glowing below?
Oh, goodness, it's wonderful. It actually helps me, with navigation, believe it or not, because in certain areas of the world, I know exactly where I am without having to ask the elves back at the North Pole when I'm out and about, where am I headed right now? Just by looking down, Sydney, Australia, is, a point right there. And there's a place over in Germany. There's a beautiful, I call it the Christmas Village over in Germany. And of course, the United States and New York City. There's all types of lights over New York City, and just as I travel all around. Oh, of course, the biggest light show of all, Las Vegas, Las Vegas, the all kind I know exactly where I am when I'm flying over the
Mm.
Vegas Strip, as they call it, right?
Yeah, no, it's very, very magical, and again, the views that you get to see from way up. And now, have you ever, when you're up there, it must be relatively, aside from the sleigh bells, is it quiet, or can you hear the Christmas, carols and stuff from down
Oh,
below?
well, I can of course, that's when the Christmas spirit's the most magical. I can hear people singing and dancing and things like that, and, I get a lot of, that's why usually my cheeks and my nose are quite red, because I'm getting a lot of wind. So I
Mm,
have a lot of wind, whispering by, um, and I have to be very careful, of the, planes that are and the jets that are in the air. Usually, I'll
mm.
fly very, very high to begin with and then drop down very quickly.
It's amazing. Um, Before we wrap it up, I think I have one more question, I think. Um, if every family listening could do one thing to spread Christmas cheer tonight, what would you tell them to do?
Well, I would tell them to, first of all, tell each other and their families, the brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, tell everybody you love them and share some of that love with someone else, someone that may not be as fortunate. Um, and maybe a simple smile and a nice gesture, a kind word, you know, kindness. I suppose I'll leave you with this. It costs absolutely nothing to be kind, but it's the most valuable thing that we could all possess.
Mm, I couldn't have said that any better if I wanted, Santa Claus. I thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, you're quite
Um,
welcome.
what what message, if any, I don't think you can top this one, would you want to share with all the kids who are listening before they head off to bed tonight in absolute excitement of your arrival in tomorrow morning's Christmas scene?
Well, remember all those letters that you send me and asking for certain things, and I say this all the time, that I never promise to bring anything specific, but I always promise that I will bring something that I know you'll like. So
Mm.
be grateful for all the things that you do get, not just from me, but from your family members or mom and dad or aunts and uncles or brothers and sisters. Always be grateful for what you have. All right. So remember that. Remember always be kind to others.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to, or you thought, you need the listeners to have, or do you
Oh,
think we've
and I almost forgot. Tell your daughter, Aubrey, that I'm glad she made that transition over to middle school. and she's doing well. That's wonderful. The elves, they're keeping their eyes out on everybody. And your son Gavin, of course, I can't believe he's driving now. And I know
Neither can I.
he loves hockey just as much as we do up here at the North Pole. So tell them I said hello and stay on the nice list. And we'll be seeing you. Oh, in just some short hour. Well, I won't be seeing you. You should be sleeping, but in a few short hours. All right. Thank you so much.
Awesome, Santa. Thank you so much. Folks, that is our conversation with Santa Claus today. As as Santa finishes his journey and the Christmas night settles in, thank you for sharing part of your holiday with us here on the Passionate Leader podcast. Tonight's reminder is a reminder of what really matters: the love we share, the kindness we show, and the joy that grows when we give a little of ourselves to others. So as the lights glow and the world slows down, take a deep breath, hold your people close, and remember, the magic of Christmas is real because it lives in you. From all of us here at The Passionate Leader, Merry Christmas, and always lead with passion, serve with humility, and keep the Christmas magic alive. Until we meet again, stay safe.